Dreams in 3D over at 3D Palace. Before we begin our interior tutorial, we need to take a look at a few things. After we're done modeling, we're going to use the Vray renderer to render our scene. So you're going to need the Vray demo from chaosgroup.com if you don't already own Vray as it is. You'll have to register before you can get the download. But no worries, just follow this URL, download the demo, install it, and you'll be good to go. Another thing that I use is the Vray AO plugin. You can find it at this URL right here. Not only is it helpful as rendering an ambient occlusion pass, but I use it for rendering clay, so that I don't have to set up my scene with a bunch of lights and then render. I can just bring up this plugin and hit render, and it will render a nice clay image for me. So it's very good, very helpful. So you don't have to use the Vray demo. You don't have to use Vray at all. You can use Mental Ray. Hell, you can use Scanline if you want to. However, this is what I use. So if you want to properly follow this tutorial, you'll download this and use it. Some great resources for reference images you can find at yourway.com, dwr.com, allmodernfurniture.com. These are sites that I visit frequently to see new modern furniture that is out on the market. If you're going to model an interior, unless it's a cartoon, you need all the reference images you can get. One thing I don't like seeing on forums is, hey, check out my interior, and then when you go look at it, the proportions are all messed up. The couch looks as big as the room. The colors are totally insane, and people wonder why you crit them so badly. Whenever you're following something, or whenever you're doing something that's supposedly photorealistic, you want to follow real life proportions and color schemes. Your trim work is not going to be all red and your walls purple. I mean, not to say that there's not going to be any purple walls ever in a house, but you can tell what's real and what isn't. And proportions are something that need to be followed. As far as proportions in our scene, the only thing that we're going to be modeling with exact proportions are the interior box itself, and we're going to follow the height on the box, so that if we create a 10-foot high ceiling, then everything else that we model will be based on that 10-foot dimension, so that everything will follow the correct proportions. We'll get into that later. Colorblender.com is a great place to go if you want to mess about with different colors. We'll look at it later when we go to texture our interior. We'll go to this site right here, and it has a few palettes that are laid out, and you can mess with different schemes and get different colors. And the good thing about this site is that you can take the RGB values and then copy them down, bring up max, and then in your material editor you can go into the color slot and enter in those exact RGB values and get the exact same color that you want, or that you came up with at this site. So it's a great place to go to, and we'll look at that a little bit later also. As far as color schemes go, I've already picked out something that I want to go with, and it contains a lot of blacks and cream, burgundies and yellows, blues, different little colors like that that are going to mix in well. Here's some chair leather examples, and the chairs that we're going to model are the Corbusier chairs from a French architect and artist, died back in the 60s, but anyway, designed these type of chairs, and this is what we're going to model. We're not going to just model some boxes and put them together. We're actually going to make the geometry flow a little bit, giving the couch a little bit of softness so that it looks like you can sit down in it and that it would be comfortable, and not just some very hard edged boxes put together. So you see that this is chrome and black, and we'll either go black and chrome, or we'll go with this cream and chrome, depending on the colors of our walls. Now I have an idea of a crazy little thing that we're going to do for the walls, so we'll probably go with black, but this cream is not a bad color for those type of chairs. Following the same scheme, I was going to model these chairs if we have enough time, or the scene permits it. We'll model that to go with it. Here's the couch. As you can see, if you brought this chrome part and this end over to right here, it would make one chair. So after we make a chair, you can see how easy it would be to extend it into the couch. Here's a painting by Corbusier, and it's got those reds in it and the whites and these mustard colors that I was talking about. So we'll put this painting on a wall somewhere in our scene. To add to that, the rug texture that I picked out has these blacks and the mustards and the burgundy-ish red colors. So we'll go with this. We want to keep everything pretty much together as far as color scheme goes. And as you can see already, everything's looking pretty nicely. Here's a small picture of my apartment. This is the coffee table that we'll design. Very sharp edges. It is black, very streamlined, kind of blocky as far as like our furniture that we're going to model is. So we'll model this depending on the placement of our camera. If the scene allows it, we'll model the end table also right here, which is similar. It's the same set. This is a lamp that we'll probably model. We'll either model this lamp to go on the coffee table, or we'll model the floor lamp. As you can see, they're the same thing, just one's bigger than the other. So these are probably the lamps that we'll go with. So basically, that's all that we need to know right now. We got the color scheme picked out already. We just need to get some RGB values for our walls. We'll use colorblender.com for that. Some examples of our models, and it should be a pretty fun interior project. So stick around for the second part, and we'll go ahead and start modeling the interior and setting the surface properties. We'll set IDs for our poly so that we can use one multi-sub object material to cover our floor and our walls, and I'll show you how to do that in the next tutorial, so stick around.